You guys got an absolute kicking. Are the Tories basically a busted flush now?
Look, by-elections are things that sitting governments rarely win. In fact, the abnormal cycle of by-elections was actually when Boris Johnson was Prime Minister and we were winning places like Hartlepool whilst in government. That historically hasn't normally happened. And by-elections are a way that the public give the government a bit of a kicking. I'm not going to pretend that the result was in any way good. It was deeply uncomfortable to see it this morning. But I don't think it's something that we should take as out of the ordinary or something that is showing a particular direction of travel for the next general election. Yeah, we're behind in the polls. We've got a lot of work to do to re-earn trust, to show that the Conservatives are still the party that are best placed to run the country and the economy. But if you look back to the 1990s, Tony Blair was getting much bigger swings to the Labour Party ahead of the 97 general election in that 92 to 97
Greg,
Parliament.
respectfully, I don't really care about the 90s, to be honest. You know, you're saying, and of course, you're telling me what you should be telling me, that you are strong, you're fit to govern, and you are the party of the people. I mean, but come on, even today, Sajid Javid, he said he's not even going to run again at the next election. Many of your team are saying exactly the same, because they know, you must know, that you're not really going to win the next general election, are you?
Well, the next general election is 2 years away. A lot can change in politics in a week, let alone 2 years. I fully acknowledge our place in the polls right now is not good. We've got a lot of work to do to re-earn trust, to show that we do have a good, strong, credible plan for the country and the economy. But just to take on this point about colleagues saying they're stepping down at the moment, it's catching your attention and the wider media attention at the moment. Lots of colleagues saying they're standing down. And the reason for that is that it's happening abnormally early. Not because people are randomly choosing to stand down, but because of the massive boundary changes that are happening across the whole country to equalise the number of electors in each constituency. Certainly my party is asking all of us if we want to stand again and which seats we want to stand in far earlier than in the normal electoral cycle. So before every general election, 10, 20, 30, 40 MPs from any particular party will retire or decide they want to do something else or go back to their old career or whatever it might be. The difference this time round is people are having to say what they're going to do, probably a year and a half earlier than they ordinarily would because of the boundary change.
Yeah, the boundary changes sound like a convenient excuse to me, but let's move on, shall we? Let's talk strikes. We're now seeing coordination, aren't we, across unions, across different sectors. So now we're going to have, it's been confirmed today, coordinated strikes in your area, rail and road. Let's just be honest. Do you think the government have lost control of the situation now?
Well, the current government, the Transport Ministers, Hugh Merriman today and Mark Harper as the Secretary of State for Transport, have been trying to actually step in where the government shouldn't be stepping in to try and resolve particularly the rail dispute. Let's not forget that the negotiations on pay and conditions and working practices are between the unions and the train operating companies, with Network Rail in the mix as well. The government is not a player in those negotiations.
So why are you meeting them then? Why are you talking to the unions then?
Well, to your point, because things have got so bad, because there seems to be a total impasse, because no deal can be reached. Either, you can look at it from both sides, either because the demands of the unions are frankly unreasonably high, or because the train operating companies are just not budging 1 inch. There is blame on both sides of the fence here. The government has had to take a view that they needed to get both parties round the table to try and hammer something out. I don't know how that went today. Mick Lynch, as he came out of the Hugh Merriman meeting, seems to have indicated that talks are ongoing and they'll be back around those tables. But fundamentally, these strikes are going to hammer the British economy yet again at a time when traders and the hospitality industry desperately need the income. They're still struggling post-pandemic. They're still struggling to ensure that their books are healthy and balanced. And December is a month when they are reliant on that trade. And, if I can just put a gentle point to the unions via the listeners of your show, this is not the time to be trying to endear yourself to the British public by shutting down their ability to go to Christmas parties, to do their Christmas shopping, to get to work, to get to medical appointments, and for children to be getting to school. Lots of kids use the railways to get to school in my patch.